Today I'm going to be reviewing the CYMA MP5K. It's called the CM041K, but MP5K sounds better. So whatever, let's open it up. All right, we got the instruction manual, a little box, short magazine, the gun itself, battery, and 2 silica gel packets. Battery is a 8.4 volt batteries. I'm not sure, whatever, doesn't matter. In the little box we have a charger for the battery and a little pack of BBs. Also not really important. Silica gel. Instruction manual that tells you to not shoot at your own eye. Yeah, don't do that, guys. And small magazine. To install the battery, all you have to do is pop this pin out, push the little spring thingy out, and pull the pin out. And as you can see over here, there is a mini Tamiya connector, a zip tie, and this, I think this is a fuse. Doesn't really matter because I'm going to change this into an XT30. Now moving on to the back, we have 2 pins. Pop this one out. This one's fairly easily done. Just pop it out and pull this tab. And you can access the back over here. The gearbox is a Type 3, version 3 gearbox with a quick detachable spring guide or spring or whatever. The hop-up can be adjusted in this area over here. This in is up, as it says over here, and out is, well, down, I guess. Pretty self-explanatory. The front sight over here and the rear sight, you can twist it around and stuff. Moving on. By taking out this pin, you would be able to disassemble it, but just be sure to cut the zip tie. And before pulling out where the gearbox is, be sure to loosen this screw right here. This way you would be able to remove the hop-up chamber and the inner barrel. Just pull it all out and you've pretty much disassembled it. For the inner barrel and the hop-up, we have a what looks like a AK hop-up with slight modifications, I guess. This little arm is at the bottom. I have here a SHS AK type hop-up chamber, pretty similar. All right, let's get down to the gearbox. From what I can see, the nozzle is plastic. To get down to the gearbox, what you have to do is loosen this screw that is under the selector switch, push out the selector switch, and unscrew the motor screws. Once you've gotten to the motor, just go ahead and try to get the motor wires out. And we got our motor out. Now pretty much what's left is there's a screw, or actually there's 2 screws inside of the pistol grip. And after they are loose, just pull and you've reached the gearbox. Let's look what we have inside. First thing that comes to my attention is this little thing. I don't even know what it's called. What is this? Anyways, this thing for the long motors, for the like M series motors or V2 motors. This little bracket over here, which is kind of interesting. This is a V3 gearbox. Definitely a V3 gearbox because I have one right here and they look identical. Well, I wouldn't say identical, but you can see the V3 resemblance. This is the gearbox for my ENL AKS 74U, which if you guys are interested, I can do a review. If you're interested, leave your thoughts in the comments. On the other side, we have a very interesting selector plate. Alright, so I've opened up the gearbox, and honestly, I have no clue what these are. I think these are bushings, not bearings. And as you can see, there are some shims. There's like 1 shim. For the cylinder and piston group, we have regular cylinder with plastic teeth, 1 metal tooth in front. You know, looks alright, I guess. Wow, that's terrible. Okay. For the cylinder head, we have a plastic, regular cylinder head, and would you look at that? That's not really supposed to happen, right? That's not good. Tappet plate, pretty standard. It's blue. Kind of reminds me of a gel soft company called Jingming. Doesn't matter. Tappet plate, tappet spring, pretty basic stuff. Plastic, very basic contact group. This is what you get in the basic models. For the platinum versions, you get a ETU, I think, but it's also pretty basic, so it's kind of expensive. So I went for this one instead. All right, so moving on to the gears. I'm assuming they are 18:1, either that or 13:1, but I'm more so thinking 18:1 because the CYMA Platinum version of the MP5K or the MP5s has the 13:1 gears. So I'm guessing 18:1. I'm not sure. I don't know how to count. I don't know my numbers. The rest is pretty basic stuff. You got your trigger over here, which is also just a V3 or an AK type trigger. You got your little hook thingy that goes up when you pull the trigger, as you can see over here. And that's about it. That's the whole gearbox. Oh yeah, and by the way, for anyone wondering what material the gearbox shell is made out of, I am guessing cast alloy. This might break if you stress it too much. Also, I want to add a quick question. Does anyone think a fuse like this is necessary? If so, leave your thoughts in the comments about a fuse like this, because to me this is absolutely unnecessary. There are chips such as the BTS 555 that moderates the voltage, so this fuse is kind of ancient technology, but that's just my opinion. What about yours? Leave them in the comments. All right, so I've put the gearbox back together, and as you can see, XC30 connector and a little chip over here that is supposed to be in charge of regulating the voltage. Anyways, with some editing magic, let us put this thing together. And would you look at that? Amazing, right? It actually took me a very long time, but we're not going to go into detail. Anyways, let's hear it fire. Let's connect a battery. This is a 11.1 volt 25C, I think. And let's hear it. Single fire. Doesn't sound too bad, I guess. It could be a lot more better, but that's going to be a subject for a whole other video, where I'm going to be tuning this. I'm not going to go into detail in this video. That's going to be a surprise, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Let's take this thing to a field and see if it can get any kills or not.
Good morning, Vietnam! Бегут по полю! Бегут! Минус 1! Минус 2!
Alright, so is the CYMA MP5K worth buying? I definitely think that it is worth it, whether as a main weapon or secondary weapon. The MP5K is actually pretty good. For CQB situations, the MP5K is very nimble and agile. I can change hands very easily. But when it comes to longer distances, the MP5K is not ideal. I would recommend using the MP5K in houses or rooms. Definitely not as a full-sized rifle. Also, you get a fun perk when using the MP5K. You literally become Neo from the Matrix. You'll see what I'm talking about in this clip.
露头了 What?
He's beginning to believe.
Granat!
Okay, that's going to be all for this video today. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. And I'll see you in the next one.